Does time really heal all wounds? I've noticed some of my clients have come to me wanting to explore hypnotherapy, wanting to explore their subconscious mind after years of therapy. They might have done therapy with a number of different therapists, trying to find the right mix of therapist and modality that can help them. And they're looking for insight. They're looking for understanding. But insight and understanding doesn't always give you the healing that you're looking for, especially when those experiences and those wounds have been these deep, emotional, traumatic wounds. And I think that in this way, time doesn't heal wounds. It might even make it worse. Because what I notice in these clients is in searching for a solution to their problem and not getting it with their logical conscious mind, they're starting to create this extra layer, an additional layer of anxiety around and they're wondering, why isn't this working? Why isn't this going away? Why isn't this getting better? Even though I'm doing what I know to do. And talk therapy can heal some wounds. And you go see a therapist and you have a few sessions and you talk about it and things are resolved, because these are the kind of, you just need to make some sense out of whatever has happened. You just need to hear yourself talking about the problem. And as you're organizing your thoughts, things become more clear to yourself as you say things out loud, and your brain organizes logically so that you can understand what's happening, what happened, and things can make sense. But there's another type of problem that has an emotional component to it. And you can talk about it for as long as you want, and time will not heal that emotional wound, because you're trying to use logic and understanding to fix emotions. And the logic and understanding that you have with your conscious mind often isn't enough to solve or resolve these complex emotional problems, because these problems exist in the subconscious. Emotions are part of that subconscious. You sometimes can't describe them or explain them to people. First of all, you don't have the language to really organize. How do you organize emotion? How do you understand emotion? And often these clients come to hypnotherapy wanting to understand, wanting to get insights. And if you're thinking that you might get more insights and understanding from hypnotherapy, I want to encourage you to just let go of what you think you need if you've tried it already and it hasn't worked, like trying the same thing over and getting the same result, and maybe even being left a little worse off because now you have anxiety around not resolving the problem in addition to the original problem. And this is what's called iatrogenic injury, where what you've been doing to help and to heal unintentionally makes it worse. So when I do a hypnotherapy session, say if you came in, I have nothing planned. I don't have this process that I'm going to take you through, because I'm going to connect first with your subconscious, and I'm just going to follow the lead of your subconscious mind wherever it takes us. And I would encourage you, if you're going to do a hypnotherapy session, just go with it. Just see what happens. Your subconscious mind knows what it's doing. It has the blueprint for your healing already, like right now. It knows what you need because it knows exactly what you've gone through. All the things that you might have even forgotten has stored. And so it knows exactly what you need for health and healing. And it knows, and it has a plan. So let go of that resistance when you're getting hypnotherapy. But there is a certain resistance that your subconscious mind might resist something when the therapist is telling you to relax. When the therapist's conscious mind is telling you to walk downstairs, when their conscious mind, they've done this a million times, their conscious mind is telling you to picture a path, go through a forest or a beach or something like that. And that works in group hypnosis. That works to a certain extent. But when you're in the basement and it's cold and dark, you're trying to just get to the living room. You're trying to get up one floor to the living room. And so everybody gets up to the living room. Everybody levels up in their own way, in their own unique way, especially when there's something that's keeping them down in that cold, dark basement and has kept them down there for years. Relax and think of a beach path probably won't work for you. And that's why these free videos on YouTube don't work. People with a lot of trauma who've had traumatic experiences that they're trying to resolve and put in the past so that they can get up to the living room, go on and live their lives. Because if you have to be relaxed to get your healing, it probably won't work for us, the types of people that have gone through a lot of trauma, that if you have to relax and that's the prerequisite to getting something in hypnotherapy, then I would never have gotten there because my anxiety wouldn't allow me to relax. But there's going to be certain types of skilled hypnotherapists that can utilize what is so right now. And that might be massive amounts of anxiety around this problem. And the problem might be anxiety around the past and trauma around the past. And so to get through all those layers of anxiety to get to the actual problem, it's probably going to take something that's unique to you. And you want to find those hypnotherapists that don't have anything planned. They don't have a generic process or a generic script that they're going to take you through. Because you could do that yourself, right? You could go get one, record it, read it to yourself, or listen to something on YouTube. But that isn't working for you. Even your talk therapy sessions that are quite unique to you haven't been working. And what the missing ingredient is presence of your subconscious mind, that connection with your subconscious mind to really tap into that blueprint of total healing and resolution of this issue so that you can level up to the living room. And I'm not saying you'll never have a problem again, because once you're up there in the living room, you're going to have all new challenges of what furniture should you buy? How many chairs should you get? How should you organize all of this stuff? So there's going to be new challenges at that level. And you may even want to level up. You may even want to go up to the balcony, the rooftop deck, look out there and see what's available to you. Look at all the possibilities that are available when you reach that level. Because you'll be growing and you'll have new challenges, new positive challenges that can take you to whole new possibilities. But now you're in the basement, it's cold, it's dark, there's a lot of fear and anxiety there. And so maybe it's time to try something different. If you keep getting the same results with talk therapy, and don't get me wrong, I love talk therapy. When I found out, when my subconscious showed me that my ex was cheating with receipts, like literally, it showed me where this receipt was of something that he gave me for Christmas. And when I looked at the receipt, I found it. I was walking through a hallway and my subconscious said, stop right now and look up. And I looked up, and about 6 or 7 feet up, I saw this blue box. My subconscious said, take that box down. Intuition, subconscious, whatever you want to call it, said, take it down. I saw the receipt. It was from Victoria's Secret. It had the pink, it was this pink receipt. It said, take a picture of it. I took a picture of it. I put it back up. And as I was looking at it later, I realized that frilly pink thing that he had bought me, he had also bought it in an extra small and a large. And at first I thought, here's logic and understanding. This is where sometimes logic and understanding will take you. Is my first thought was, oh, maybe he made a mistake when he was ordering it online. There's your rational mind for you. And then I realized, because I had this feeling that was not the case, that there was something deeper going on here. And it led me to, then that night, I had a dream. And in the dream, I called Victoria's Secret and I asked them if there were other receipts. So I woke up the next morning. I actually did that. I called Victoria's Secret and I asked them if there were other receipts. And there was. There were 3 receipts, 14 things, $800 worth of lingerie in all these different sizes. And that was not a mistake. He purchased things online all the time. And so in my body, I could feel that my subconscious, my intuition had showed me something. And then I left him because he kept lying about it. And maybe if he hadn't lied, we could have worked something out. We could have gone to therapy together because, yes, talk therapy is helpful. Because he was still lying, he made my decision to leave very easy. Because he had been lying all along, he was still lying. And what I thought the relationship was, whatever that was, it wasn't what I thought it was. Whatever was going on for him wasn't what he was portraying himself to me to be. So I did go to therapy on my own. I left him, went to therapy on my own, and it did help. It helped me realize that he wasn't cheating on me. He was over there cheating, doing whatever. So it took this ownership away, this kind of shame away. He's just doing that over there because I did have a lot of shame about it. I didn't want anyone to know until I actually got complete with it. And I did that largely through talk therapy so that I could talk about it. And it's really interesting. When I started talking about it, I realized how many people that this had happened to, but they would never come out and tell it to me right off the bat. But when I shared, they were able to share as well. So maybe there's still some type of shame aspect in what's going on for them that hypnotherapy can actually help resolve. Because even though I understood what was going on with my mind, luckily I actually got receipts. I got literal receipts, literally Victoria's Secret receipts. Even though I was so sure of what had happened, that he had been cheating all along, I still had this underlying emotional, this complex knot and connection to him because we had been together for quite a few years. And that's what really messed me up and was keeping me from moving on, because logic and understanding wasn't quite enough to help me put what had happened into the past so that it wasn't in my future. Because for as long as I had those emotional connections and feelings and they were confusion, they were anger, grief, all of that. For as long as I had that and wasn't able to resolve, that would be a block in my future, standing in the way of my future relationships. And I could tell when I was dating, it was there. And so I needed something more than just talk therapy. And that's when I got hypnotherapy. And it's interesting how my subconscious led me to study hypnotherapy while I was with him. And he told me, never hypnotize me. And that's interesting. There's little clues all along. If you think your partner's cheating, what I found out, everything flashed before me like a movie scene. All the things that he did that didn't make sense, that when I brought them up, he would gaslight me. And so I trusted him more than I trusted my own intuition. And so that was something I had to take responsibility for. And now I trust in my own feelings, in my own intuition, but they're not clouded by all that emotional knot that was all wrapped up in being in this relationship with someone who was cheating. So hypnotherapy was what was actually able to resolve that emotion so that it's flat. Instead of all of these balloons that are bobbing up, hypnotherapy, instead of pushing those balloons down underwater, when they're still filled with air, they pop up with even greater force. Hypnotherapy can just let the air out of all of those balloons so they just fall. And you just walk over them into your future without them affecting you. Your emotion is just flat. You can just look at it like you're reading a story. And you've learned from that lesson. That's why you don't want to totally erase it from your memory. Some clients ask me, can I erase their memories? Can I erase their childhood? It's traumatic. And I know some of you have experienced way more trauma, way more traumatic experiences than that. But you do want to be able to look back and have learned something from that, but the emotion is flat. And that's when the logic kicks in. Actually, you got to get rid of that emotion. You got to resolve that emotion before you can really think logically and clearly about that past experience. So if you've tried everything, you're still stuck, you still feel blocked, you've been going to therapy for weeks, months, if you've been going to therapy for years and you're still trying to get a different result from doing the same type of therapy, it might be time to try something new. And there's a new year coming up. You can be totally free of whatever it is that's holding you back, that's standing in the way of you leveling up and really living in this next 365 days, this new cycle that's coming up that doesn't. So find a hypnotherapist that doesn't use scripts, doesn't plan for the session, and will help you connect with your subconscious who has planned for the session and knows exactly how to get you flat so that you can level up and you can go on to live your best life.